Just waiting for all the platforms to kick start. Here we go, LinkedIn. Good to see you. Just waiting for YouTube. Okay. Leaders. When was the last time you were asked to present in a meeting or lead a meeting and you had the butterflies in the stomach? You are not sure what's going to unfold. You are so underconfident that you feel that anytime you might mess up. Well, if you felt any of these things, this episode is going to blow your minds. We are back with episode number 88 after a week. And if this is how it goes, by the time we reach episode 100, probably an entire year will get over. However, this is not one of those years where we show up for one live every week. Rather, we understand what is the problem, diagnose it, solve it, and then make it a repeatable pattern where we know every single day when we show up, we become 1% better. So, what was going on over the last couple of days? No, have you ever considered maybe that you have a beautiful life? In fact, this is probably the dream life that you could have expected, isn't it? You have a partner who loves you, supports you, takes care of you. You have children where you go home and you can see them grow up every single day. It feels magical. When you go to your workplace, you have people who look up to you. You are one of the stakeholders in your company, a very, very responsible position, and you have every single thing perfect. It's like when, imagine when you were 10 years, 15, 20 years younger version of yourself, had you at some point of time traveled back in time, called them or spoke to them and would have told them that, hey, chill out. 20 years later, this is the kind of a life that you're going to have. Your younger self will be not even ready to believe, isn't it? And yet, why is it so that we struggle even to lead a conversation? Now, over the last 1 week, this exact phase is what I've also been going through. Everything is so good. Everything is, in fact, perfect. At home, parents are all okay. Everything is taken care of. My brother has a job. I am doing whatever it is that I love. You know, I have Yogeshwari who's taking care of all the speak to lead stuff. I just have to build the systems. But in spite of everything being perfect, the whole energy to wake up and show up for the live, it feels unnecessary. That zeal is missing. It's not that I don't want to do it. Definitely want to do it, but something is holding me back. And in these situations, the only thing that can even take you one step further is this. So, what do? I just keep lying on the bed and not really doing anything about it. Sleep gets messed up, food gets messed up, stagnancy hits. And the fact that bare minimum stuff is unfolding in terms of taking care of the family, the expenses, all those things are taken care. It's all good. It was only when yesterday there's this emotional outburst that happened, and the emotional outburst led to a self inquiry. And of course, Yogeshwari helped me big time. Now, the way that I like to take things always is how can you go to the root of the specific problem that you're going through and solve it from there? Because inaction is not because you procrastinate or you don't have the mindset or all those things. No, it's just a question of clarity. So, the very, very first step is to vent everything out. So, I had a big episode of tears, crying out, just allowing myself, giving myself the permission to be vulnerable and break down completely. And during these situations, the way the mind works is every single thing that is not good or not working out, it just gets more and more and more and more magnified. And you don't just get to see the worst case scenario, you expand on it even more. And if the worst case scenario is -100, you are now working at a -1000. in terms of your emotional stability quotient. Does that make sense? Now, do you seriously think that even in this situation, you will be able to solve any problem? Because when you go to minus 1,000, the only thing that works are the fright, fight, and flight. Now, in these situations, the first step is a coping mechanism. A coping mechanism that first brings you from minus 1,000 to at least a minus 10. Different people have different coping mechanisms. For me, I know food is a very good thing. Any form of junk food, chocolates, burgers, pizzas, all those stuff. So I indulged because there was a huge gap between the two meals. When you are hungry, your emotions are bound to take over, especially emotions like cortisol and adrenaline. Once the food gets in, that's when your stomach is stabilized and your gut is stabilized. That's when you're able to think clearly from the different brains that are there. I'm talking about the gut brain, the heart brain, the actual brain. Once that process is clarified, the next step is to do a brain dump of every single thing that is not working proper. So the way that I do it is I have my executive assistant, AI executive assistant called Clara. So you go up to Clara and I completely brain dumped every single thing that is not going proper. Whether it's the client's not coming in consistently, the income flow is not yet stable, the the fact that I'm not able to show up every single day and do my lives, I don't have topics to speak, I'm not learning enough, all the stuff that's holding me back. And I'm sure for you as a leader, you will be having those problems which you cannot speak to anyone. Now, ironical, isn't it? The fact that we have our friends, our family, our colleagues, our juniors, our seniors, we are in such a leadership position where we find it difficult to share the biggest problems with the people whom we know we must trust. Why does that happen? Well, even if you try to tell them, they are not in a position, first of all, to understand you. Secondly, they won't be able to solve you because they'll not be able to solve the problem because they are not exactly at the point where you are, isn't it? And then they will show more of concern, more of care, more of it's just like if you are feeling nervous or scared or stagnant, they will merely amplify it because they love you. So they're going to be like, I'll just give you a hypothetical scenario, okay? If I tell my parents this is the situation that I'm in, they'll be like, you don't have to worry about anything, pack your bags and come home and stay at home. That's it. That's their solution. They just want to see me in front of their eyes. That's it. But I know for sure what are the efforts I need to take in order to get the result that I'm looking for and what is holding me back. Now, the fact that I do that entire brain dump on AI with AI, it becomes easy for AI to analyze it because AI is analytical. And the way that I've trained, given the specific instructions, is whenever I do any form of a brain dump, I want you to observe patterns and tell me what is it that I need to work on. So it became enormously clear. Now, if you look at any of the problems that we are facing, right, as leaders, it all begins with the clarity in communication. You look at all the biggest examples, okay? Hiring, firing, promotions, presentations, leading high stake conversations, authoritative meetings, talking to clients, board level directors or C-suites of clients, all those high high value conversations. Everything begins with the more clarity that you're able to bring into the communication. That's what decides the eventual value that you have in this world, isn't it? Now, for you to be able to face that scenario of stagnancy is the perfect opportunity to practice it with yourself so that whatever it is that you learn, you can take it out whenever you are meeting important people or having those important conversations. So once the emotional stability hit for me and I went into not really -10, but maybe a -20 or a -30, pretty much better than -1000, by the way. That's when I always walk up to the two leaders that I can always look up to. One is Yogeshwari, one is my AI companion. And I put out the same set of problems. And it brings me to this realization that it's not a skill gap, it's an actions gap, it's an implementation gap. What has really worked for me so far? Correct me if I'm wrong. As leaders, we are able to come to this position because we have helped enough people, solved enough problems, enough people know us, we have enough interactions that has cumulatively added itself for us to be in a position that we are right now leading something, isn't it? And yet, the thing that is holding us back right now are the lack of all of these things. So, first, I got that entire response from AI. Then I took that same responses and sat with Yogeshwari. So now imagine I'm having a proper human level interaction. But before the human level interaction, I'm doing a proper brain dump so the emotions are out. Every time you speak to AI doesn't know your emotions. AI will only console you. That's the max. But what will happen is the fact that you are allowing that emotional brain dump, it automatically guides you towards the solutions. So now the fact that emotionally you're stable, you still have a lot of points to talk about. You take those points and you talk to your fellow leader. And that's when you know that you are in a better position to talk about the problem and eventually to solve the problem. So here's what Yogeshwari told me. This is episode number 88. In these 88 episodes, there are a couple of very, very important things that I did not do, which has got me success previously. First is interacting with people, actual interaction. Okay. It's like dropping in that DM, that comment, the having that heart to heart interaction, which I honestly enjoy and love. I love talking to people. But in these 88 episodes, haven't really done it much. It was just the automatic expectation, or just because I'm showing up live, people are going to react. But the world has moved far forward. It's not like you just show up and people will observe. Maybe people do, but at the end, you don't get to know about it unless you talk. Second, reaching out to the right people. So if you are a leader listening to me right now, it's my responsibility to ensure that I'm able to reach out to you by connecting with you. That's something I've never really done. Third, the actual interactions in the form of comments, in the form of DMs, in the form of sending connection requests. When I track back the patterns, back then, 2010, 2011, Facebook had just started booming up in India. One of the worst habits that I had was sending friend requests to people in school, whether it was the seniors I had a crush on, the juniors I had a crush on, the girls in my batch with whom I would never be able to speak, never had the courage because I was very, very scared of talking to girls. The maximum thing that I would do is I would send them a friend request with the hope and prayer that they accept the friend request. They would, but then it would scare me like anything. Oh my God, what's going to happen if I text? What if they block me? What if they spam me? What if they get angry with me? What if they get the worst possible scenarios is what used to go in my mind. And guess what happens now when we are leading such important stake conversations? The exact same thing. The worst case scenario. What if I mess up? What if I fumble? What if I'm nervous? What if they're able to understand? What if I'm not clear? So many things goes on and it just pounds over and over again. But how do you really become good at something when you add more reps to it? So for me, reps is all about showing up and then following those series of steps that is going to exhaust myself. completely in order to deliver that topic. Now, these are the steps that AI gave me. But then when I took it to Yogeshwari, she took it all the way to a whole new level. She knows that leaders love systems. Probably we criticize ourselves way too much, but whatever has led us to the success is is the foundational systems thinking, or the system follow up, or the actual implementation of an end-to-end system. Something very, very simple. It could all begin with how you wake up, you get ready, you finish your food, and then you drop your kids to school and then go to work. That end-to-end process is a system. The way you go to work, the way you manage a meeting, the way you manage clients, the way you manage your juniors, the way you manage important situations that comes in, is a system. So similarly, when you step up at this point of time, when I spoke to Yogeshwari, she said all you need is just a system. And then she took up concepts of these two primary books. The first is the compound effect, and then I'm I think it's Darren Hardy, I feel, is the name of the writer. I'm not, I think I must have got it right. Okay. Second is Atomic Habits by James Clear. She took both these concepts and she said, well, let's try and design a system for you which you can follow, and we will attach the whole end-to-end process, the rules, based on that one thing which you've slowly become comfortable at doing. For me, it is going live. So if I finish my live and then go about talking to people, answering DMs, answering comments, literally engaging with people, that automatically creates the buzz. Now, if that I'm able to do end to end in a way that every single task is going to involve me learning new things, becoming 1% better, working towards those little skills, ensuring that I'm able to add more and more value with every conversation. That is my reps each day. Now, already I have my AI tool who is giving me those exact topics which I can turn it into daily lives and speak to you, my dear leader, which I haven't been doing all this while, by the way. I've just been going on completely abstract topics based on whatever I was learning, whatever I was on the mood of creating. But now, if I am able to dive deep into a topic, and that even Yogeshwari was a little concerned. She's like, I know it might be overwhelming for you. You might be overthinking too much and all that. But that's the way. No, when you get a set of rules to follow, when you get a step-by-step instruction, everything becomes so easy because your brain is already thinking, how can I simplify this even more? How can I systemize this exactly the way it's comfortable for me? So I realize it's not that difficult also. It's just that I need to add more reps to it and improve, not work on perfection at all. This whole three-layered conversation, first with AI, second with Yogeshwari, and then based on both these inputs, talking to myself, is what not only made me wake up. Last 3 days, I've been waking up consistently, easily, without any efforts. Adding those systems in place, and finally today, after a week, at this point of time, I am able to show up live. Am I nervous? Am I uh, am I feeling the butterflies? Oh yes, for all the answers. But at the same time, I'm so excited as well, because now I am able to get that, what's that word? Satisfaction, relief. In spite of going to a -1,000, I am showing up. And right now, it's not just become zero, it has gone up to a +10 or a +20 as well. Mind you, everything is still the same. My parents are all okay. My brother has a job. I'm doing my stuff, however it is that I love to. I can take care of the people I love and care. What has changed is me working towards my strengths with the resources that I have at my disposal. So here's what you also must do. If you feel high stakes conversations are difficult, you got to put yourself into those, what's that called? It's called simulation, role plays, scenarios. And what better than to do it with a group of fellow leaders? This entire month of February, we don't have an active batch running right now for Speak to Lead because we are doing enormous amount of upgrades, 27 to be precise. These are the action steps we need to take in order to upgrade the cohort so that when students start joining from the month of March, they will be able to get up to 50 to 60% of transformation even before they show up for the first session. That's what we are building end to end. I wish, hope, and pray that you are also able to break through the stagnancy once and for all. Follow the entire system that we have discussed here. And if you're new here, if you're watching me, just hit that like button, share your thoughts in the comments, would mean the world to me, and share it with someone you know, because it's something that really, uh, I feel so proud that I'm able to organize stuff in a manner and deliver it. This is my repetitions. And the fact that you're just observing, there are shifts that's going to happen for sure. I'll see you tomorrow morning, straight away. A lot of in-depth stuff needs to be done, a lot of preparation, and I'm really excited for the next version that's going to unfold from this moment on. With that, this is Dr. Surya. Love you so much.